there. Hi, welcome to my cabin this evening. I am adding this intro after our evening's over because I wasn't sure what our evening was going to entail. So I wanted to add the intro last. So you are seeing me in my outfit that I finally ended up in. I changed my clothes so many times. Our weather keeps changing. And it's like hot and cold, hot and cold. And so I just keep changing my clothes. And I change the background. I change a lot throughout this little evening I have with you. And it was so much fun. We did so many different things. And I hope you enjoy it. So let's go back in time and see what we did tonight. All right. Hi there. So we started off with this petals and pots. I don't know what it is. It's like a little diorama thing or a shadow box. And I got it off Temu. And this is something that has popped up on Temu that I just started seeing recently, possibly because I do buy those sticker stories from them. And they come in little packets like this. And then when you open up, you have all the parts. Now, this is just medium weight cardstock. It's not very sturdy, it's kind of flimsy, and if you'll look closely, you'll see that there is a roll of double-sided tape that it comes with, but I missed that completely, and so I went looking for some glue, and I grabbed this glue, and it's been sitting forever, and look, it's still not clogged. I've had this forever. Now, I thought it was the Fabri-Tac, which is the same brand makes it, and is great for paper. But this particular one was not that. It's very strong glue used for very strong things. It can be used for paper because it's acid-free, but it smells to high heaven. And I didn't need to use that strong of glue. Anyway, here's the directions on the back. I don't particularly understand them, and when I translated them, they make no sense. It's like, put the items on the flat place before construction. Not sure what that is. So then looking at this side, it made a little more sense. And so I'm going to I knew I could do that part. So let's do this together. So I found the piece that had that had the front and the back attached. So that's the front of the building. And then yes, this matches that drawing or that image. Yep. Okay. So I got the right part. Yep. Those match. And so now I need to find that little item that's glued onto it. And it's hard for me to see oh, there it is. It's like a basket of bread, maybe? Look at that. I put the double-sided tape aside, and I still don't recognize that that's what I probably should be using. There it is. So according to that image, it goes right about there. Okay. So now I just have to glue it on. Well, that sounds simple. But this glue, wait till you see it. It's thick and it's stringy and really intense glue. I should have just grabbed a jar of Elmer's. I don't know why I didn't do that. I have Elmer's glue. I have glue sticks. That would have worked really well. But no, I grabbed my industrial strength glue and put it down. And I'm working on this spongy backdrop, this Gudetama, this new mat I got, and I really am hating it. I hate it because it's too spongy and soft. It's also really ugly. Like, it looks dirty, but it's not. It's the black backing coming through, and because it's brand new. And I just hate it. I end up throwing it away after this video. I thought it was just terrible. I went back to the one I've been using, the log cabin one, and until I find something else. All right. So I get that on there. I still have no idea. Is this the front? Is this the back? What is this? I don't know. It's just what the pictures tell me to do, and they're the boss of me right now. And then this is what I'm not getting. I'm like, okay, this piece has 3 things, but how do I know what piece this is? It took me a bit of looking at it. That side is no help whatsoever. So I know that I'm trying to figure out what are the differences with all of these. Wait, that has one board, like this one. So it has one board showing. Okay, and I was just flicking away some glue. That glue got really stringy. See that little sweatshirt I have on? A neighbor left that on my porch. I really like it. It's really cozy. Okay, then I need to find those things. I don't know. I thought they were 3 separate things, but I went looking. There's not that many pieces of paper here. I'm going to get to those later. I kind of have an idea what those are. I think you fold them accordion style and then put them in between the layers, maybe. And I'm having problems with my tweezers, and later I look at them and I realize that they're bent and they no longer meet. And so I've had them for a very long time, very, very long time. They've lost all of their cushions and now they're bent too much, so I'm going to have to get another pair. Yeah, that's it. It's not 3 separate things. It's just 3 things. And it's going to go on the one with one board. As you can see, I'm really good at this. Oh my God. IKEA is my nightmare store. I can't put things together. I can barely glue paper to paper. It's amazing I ever finished my part of a junk journal in the Sisterhood of the Traveling Journal that I'm a part of. You have to glue a lot in those. Okay, I got these 3 things gluing. I'm using my fancy paint rag there to make sure I get all the glue. And these would benefit from like a heavy book sitting on them, and I do that later. I put them under heavy books to dry. Just my fingers holding them is not really effective. The best thing would be to put something heavy on top of it to flatten it out and just leave it there to dry. All right, I still have no idea what this is supposed to look like, but I'm just following the pictures. Yeah, that'll work, Candice. Put the glue on it. The next one has 2 planks, floorboards. So I found it. The 3, Candice, is later. I don't think the 3 is now. I'm making the 3rd one versus the 2 one. I don't know why I made them out of order. This is Paul Bakery. Like Paul. This is only for Paul. And that big thing actually made me want some baked goods. I love baked goods. Don't you? I love chocolate-filled croissants. They're so delicious. And there's the seating. So this is going to be in the very back, we think. These get glued down, and then the plant gets glued down in front of them. I have high hopes for this at this point. I'm thinking, yes, we're going to make a 3D shadow box thing, kind of like that shadow box creating book that Karolina Kubikowska made. And I actually started on making one of those, and it stalled for several months now. But it's a lot like that. In that one, we put foam tape. You have to put something between the layers to give it the 3D look. If you just squish the layers together, it's not effective. Here, I expected that with these, some thick foam tape, but instead we have these accordion-style walls, with air quotes, so we'll have to just wait and see what that looks like. I think that's how you do it. I put some of that great lotion on my hands, and it's all shiny. Yeah, it's not a good idea to lotion up your hands before you work with paper. You get lotion fingerprints all over the place. But you know, the channel Happy Catastrophe is more a cautionary tale of what not to do. Don't follow. I did this so you don't have to. Just remember that. All right, we've glued these 2 pieces on, and now there's a plant. Yeah. I needed you to hold because I had to get myself reorganized. Oh, now we're on the one with the plant. Okay, so this is the far back. It has 4. I did do them in order. Hey, good for you, Candice. So this is the far back wall. And in theory, everything that's left should go here, right? And I'm double checking. I'm really trying to do this correctly for y'all. Because I want to see if it's worth it. You know, it's a new thing that we're seeing on Temu. I do absolutely love the sticker stories, and we'll constantly refer you to Temu or Shein or one of those for those because they're cheaper, much, like 90% cheaper than if you went on Amazon or to one of those sticker story websites. And I saw this, and if this is any fun at all, I'd love to recommend it for you because they are about $4 for a set of 5, I think. Really cheap. And so I have, 4 more of these. I have 5 in total. And they all kind of go together to make a little village or something. There I was going to do one of those cool snap things and have it all together. And then I realized once I got ready to put it all together, I didn't know what I was doing. And I wasn't going to be able to snap it. So much for that special effect. Fail. So here we go. I'm putting them in order of the picture. And it's clever how the floor gets bigger and bigger on each one. That's clever. So it looks like that without the spacing. But then you have these. And you do fold them like an accordion. I finally figured out what that picture meant. Fold them like that. Although it doesn't tell you what side to put on the outside, and I had to just kind of figure that out. Like, do you put the part that looks like a wall facing out or the facing in? To be part of the room, because the other side of the paper is blank. So I wasn't really sure. These folded easy because they're already perforated. I mean, this wasn't hard to put together. The hardest part is that the paper is not that sturdy, and so it's kind of delicate and janky a little bit. So I got those all folded, and I'm looking, and it looks like the wall part, the part that looks like a wall is facing out, with the floorboards down, or what do you call that? Not floorboard, the thing around the bottom, the cement part. And it goes like that, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and glue it. Siding, I don't know, whatever that, foundation, maybe foundation. And then I had to think here for a second. Wait. I'm like, is this really? Yeah, okay. The cement stuff is down. The wall's facing out. So this should be how it goes. And I do end up putting these under books to dry, because this is an important structural part of the whole project, and it really needs to work. I was afraid to pull on it. So let's just put the other one on, let that one dry. Again, thinking. And all of a sudden I thought, oh my God, I did it wrong. I put it on the wrong part. And then I had to do this for a bit. Like, is it right? Oh yeah, it's right, because everything goes behind this. I was thinking it was like a book and this was the back side. This was the last piece, but no. Yeah, you got to be smarter than the pieces of paper, let me tell you. So I got that one side glued on. And here you go. That's the 3D part of it. So there's some space. It's kind of cute. It's working. All the pieces are well cut. Everything fits together very well. Okay, so I took away that Gudetama mat. It just was bugging me so much. It just looked dirty all the time. So I'm going to chuck it. That was not a Temu purchase I would recommend. And I'm back to this one. I do love this one, so we'll keep it for now. And I also took off my sweatshirt. It's a warm evening. It's gone from here in Oregon, from in the Willamette Valley where I'm at, from rainy and cold to 72 degrees and sunny, like overnight. It just did in one day. It's crazy. So this glue has finished drying, and I did put the accordion sides on, as you can see. Yup. And, you know, it's cute. It came with some Velcro. And the Velcro's nice for opening it up. Oops, you're off screen. The Velcro's nice, so I put it there to that kind of helps hold it shut, I think, more than anything. I think it's not meant to be open too much, because you're meant to just kind of look through and see it in 3D, which is kind of cute. It's not pretty from the top, so you definitely, if you were going to display this, and yes, Jack's getting up and walking around. If you were going to display this, you'd have to put it like up somewhere so you could see it from this angle and look in. Is it cute? Yes. Was it fun to put together? No, not really. It's just gluing paper together. It wasn't, and it, you know, no. It was only a couple dollars. Was it worth the money? Yeah, probably, but I would rather put that couple of dollars towards something else, because honestly, this is really flimsy. Kids couldn't play with this. They would wreck it in a minute, and I don't know. It's just very cheap looking, kind of, because it's this paper. Although it is pretty. I don't know why it says Paul Bakery. It is nice. And I guess if you had a whole village of them and maybe strung some lights in there, it might be kind of fun. Just, you know, it wouldn't be something you'd ever pick up and play with or handle much. But if you like paper piecing, and everything fit really well. Sometimes, you know, they don't, but they really did. Everything fit well. Everything glued together really well. I did not end up using the double-sided tape anywhere, because A, I didn't see it until the very end, and B, I couldn't get the backing off of it. So I just used regular old glue, and yeah, I would recommend an Elmer's glue. This is really light paper. It's not even that thick a cardstock. Like, we have coloring books with thicker paper, I think. So you definitely could use just regular old Elmer's glue. But anyway, I try these things just to see if it's something worth our time. And I really don't think these are, but it's something new I was seeing on Temu, kind of along with the sticker stories. I would stick with the sticker stories. They're a lot more fun to put together. And although you don't really display those, you could display this. I don't know why you'd want to. They're kind of cheesy. All right, let's see what else I got going for you. Okay, so I wanted to show you something I got off Temu. It's not coloring related, but I know many of you suffer from overheating, and air conditioning is expensive. Plus, getting it right here in your face is pretty hard. I don't have central air here in my log cabin, but I do have like a 4-foot tall, rolly, portable air conditioner. It basically just brings the temperature down a little bit to a tolerable level, but it doesn't really do the job for getting me like cool immediately. I had a little table fan that my mom got off of something, and it worked for about a year, and then it broke. So now I found this, and it had a lot of good reviews. This thing is wonderful. It's a waist fan. It cost me $14, I think it was. And it can clip. These are different clips it can use to clip on you. It can hang around your neck. One's a clip and one's a belt loop. So I'm planning on just keeping it right here when I need to. And it's USB charged. Right there, that little charge. And you hold it to turn it on. And that's its lowest setting, which is pretty darn good. It goes higher. Whoa. Whoa. And then you get it to its highest setting, it's like a wind funnel. So you shoot. It's really nice. I really like it. And it's hefty. It's like very solidly built. So if you're like me and you overheat, this is a nice one because you can put it just right underneath your chin or whatever and have it blowing on you while you're coloring. It can be just like your little handheld cooling thing. And if you're walking around or rolling around, doing something outside, you can, this adjustable strap is really nice. You can hang it around your neck at different varying heights and get yourself some air in your face. If you want it lower, you can hook it on a belt or something. But I just wanted to show you this because I was so impressed with this. Now I'm ready for coloring in the heat. Yay. Okay. I wanted to show you a gift that I haven't shown on the channel yet. This is a gift from Anonymous. Now, Anonymous sent me some replacement rings from my Amanda Colors planner. And let me grab that. It's drying because I did some stuff in it tonight. I work in this planner every single day. I love this planner. This was a gift from Tara, and I absolutely love this planner. It's just the best thing ever. It had arrived with several discs broken, and it was making it very hard to turn, and they were breaking more and constantly breaking. And so my anonymous friend, I don't know who it is, she really is anonymous. She or he said that the broken discs on my planner were making their brain itch. So these are not the ones they sent. They sent me some clear, sparkly ones. Now, I would show them to you, but I have them someplace very special because I'm working on a project with them. And I meant to have them easier to grab. So at the same time Anonymous sent me those, Chris from Color Me Chris sent me these. And these are the ones that are on his journal that I kind of admired. They're rose gold that match the journal. And they kind of arrived at the same time. So I put the rose gold ones on here because they don't go with the other project I'm doing. And look how well it slides. So thank you, Chris, so much. It's so much easier. So now hopefully my anonymous friend's eyeballs won't itch anymore. Was it the brain? Brain itch. The brain was itching. And what I'm doing with theirs is I'm so excited. I am making a book of my PDFs, and I'm working on, this is a very special book. So I'm working on, do I want these to be completed? Do I want these to be all that I print out? Do I want it to be both, just like a PDF coloring book? That might be kind of nice. I think that's where I'm heading. And I bought the punch. You guys know I got the keyhole punch. I put it away too. And I'm going to make the covers sparkly. Well, the sparkle I'm using for the covers, which is that taped down sparkle, holographic sparkle you guys saw in a recent video, matches exactly those rings. I am so excited. I can't tell you. Anonymous, whoever you are, it's going to be the most sparkliest, wonderfulest answer to a problem I've been having for years about what to do with my PDFs. Right now I have finished PDFs in just like a file folder. I have wanting to work on PDFs in my iPad because I don't want to print them off until I'm ready to use them. But I do have a chunk printed off that I was planning on coloring in, but I never get to them because they're also put away in a file folder. So this is just going to make it, I'm just going to have a PDF coloring book that I'm going to curated by me. It's going to have some of my favorite pages in it that I definitely want to color, some of my favorite artists. And that way it will remind me, like, I'll put a couple of Jash Lee's. And if I want more of Jash Lee, I know I can go to my PDF that's there in my iPad and get more from that book. So maybe I'll even just make one of those print-offs the cover of every single one so that I know what I have to go look at. I'm so excited for it. I can't wait to show you. I think it's all back in my bedroom because that's where I'm working on these things, lying in bed, putting them together on my iPad, what I want to print out. So I think the rings are back there too. But I will show that all to you when it's put together. Thank you, Anonymous. Thank you, Chris. I absolutely, look how well this slides now. Yeah, well, they was the only weak spot of this planner were those rings. A lot of people got them, or they arrived broken. So my suggestion to Amanda is to use these metal rings because the plastic ones don't survive shipping. I'm sure they weren't broken when they put them on. Okay. Then Anonymous also sent me a glaze pen. This was taped to the package. So excited. Precious, my precious. It's clear glaze, so you can make anything. You can put it on top of anything once it's dry and make it shiny, glazy. And look, it's brand new. Still got the little rubber nibby thingy on it. I'm so excited. And she sent me a book. Now, I don't know how she knew I wanted this book. I don't know. But did you know that Good Wives and Warriors makes a larger sized book? Not just the little teeny tiny things. So Good Wives and Warriors does this one, Return of the Wild, in conjunction with Helen Scales, who is the biologist that writes all the write-ups in this. This is a fantastic book. I'm so excited to show this to you. Return of the Wild coloring book. It's, I think it's a matte cover. It's just kind of shiny. It's a good 8 by, that might be like 12. It's a tall book. It's a tall book. And what it is, we read a lot. We have a lot of books that show us endangered animals. And it's kind of a sad thing because these animals are dying out, mostly because of us. But this one is an uplifting book in that these are animals that were on the dying out very soon list, and plants. And due to some efforts on the part of humans, they've made a comeback. So this is a really positive book that makes you feel good. It's like the wild has returned, and there's a lot of places, and it makes us feel like, look, we've done a lot of damage to this planet, but we've also fixed some problems too that we made. So let me show you. Okay, it is a beautiful book. I don't think, is it sewn down? Oh, is it sewn down? I can't tell. I think it's glue bound. It has great paper. Look at that. Really good paper. That was 2 pieces. Really good. It's published by Hachette Children's Group. It's published by Lawrence King, which is an imprint from Hachette. So I think Hachette's going to basically own everything. And it was first published in the United States, which is interesting because I don't think these guys normally are first published in the United States. Here's the table of contents. Can we turn on some more lights over here? How about that? Yeah, that's nice. How about we put my water down before I dump it on something? I'm doing a lot of things this evening because I've had a marathon week of work. And today is my first day of my weekend. And I spent most of it sleeping, so now it's late at night, and I'm like, ooh, all the things I want to do. So it's got a table of contents. And then it has an introduction, and here's the title page. Is that not cool? It's got a little bit of everything in there. I think it's got most of all the animals that are in here are in this one page. Big old crazy, yes, very detailed jungly page, Good Wives and Warriors style. And here it talks about how important it is to have the wilderness, but how magnificent animals that were fading away are returning to their former glory, and plants are growing back. And it's just really upbeat. So let me show you. Of course, there's some coloring tips. These aren't very advanced coloring tips. I think anybody can do that. Let's just run. This is fur. No, it's not really anything that you guys don't already know. And then it starts out here with blue whales, and how they've come back. These were, of course, decimated by whale hunting. There was very few left, but the last count was 58, and that's a huge comeback. So only 58, but that's a lot more than there was. And then you have this typical Good Wives and Warriors page. It looks really busy, but there's just a lot of lines. You don't have to color all those lines. Very artistic, and fantastic paper. I am doing a page you will see with some water media, and it's beautiful. It's working out really well. These are orchids. This species has only been seen in England, and the last species was seen 30 years ago on the coast of Cornwall. But now there is some folks growing it on a rooftop garden, 11-story building in London. And that's basically the only place they are anymore. So that's a rooftop garden. Look at all those plants. Yeah, I would definitely be using swaths of just ink, I think. I actually thought about doing this one, but it's not the first one I started. The Secret Rescue of the Large Blue Butterfly. This is really interesting. The blue butterfly disappeared from England because too many people wanted a perfect specimen for their butterfly collections. What was that, England? Collected butterflies. That's not an American thing. We don't, that's not a popular pastime. That was definitely very much an English thing back in the day. And they wanted to bring them back because they were pretty much gone. So what they did was they released some eggs that they had from the blues among red ants, because that's what they feed on, is red ants. So they have to have red ants, which most of us, well, I don't have them in this part of the country, but if you do, you're mostly trying to kill them. Well, blue butterflies eat those, and I guess they're really big butterflies. So they released them they took some of the eggs from the blues in Sweden, because Sweden still had some of these butterflies. They took those eggs and they took them to a top secret place in England, still not disclosed, and they released them where there were red ants. And now the population has grown enough that you can see them in a few places across England. So they have come back in England. That's a new page. This is the harlequin toad. I have never heard of the harlequin toad, and I'm going to be looking it up to see what colors it is. This is in the north of Colombia. They received a disease. They got an amphibian disease, and it's a fungus, and it just decimated this population. But in northern Colombia, so they were decimated everywhere but northern Colombia. In northern Colombia, they are healthy, even though the fungus is close by. So they don't know, scientists don't actually know why this particular group of harlequin toads are not succumbing to the fungus. So they think they have some sort of an antifungal coating. So they hold the key, whatever their superpower is, they hold the key to protect amphibians all over the world. If we can just figure out what that is. Those two are humping, having sexy time. And Mommy and Daddy are in love. Of course you have to put that there. Good Wives and Warriors are so strange. This is Mexico Gulf of California. So this is down like by Baja in Mexico. Those places, this sent me down a rabbit hole, and I started doing a bunch of research on it. Mexico doesn't always have support from the government. They have a little bit, they have, soul support, but they don't have money support from the government to create ecosystems. And much of the coral reefs have been decimated, especially on the west side of Mexico, have been decimated because of overfishing. So once villagers along the coastline realized this was happening, a lot of pockets of people got together and made their own conservation effort. And so what they did was they put a limit on themselves. They gave themselves seasons and a limited catch. But then they had to find some way to make money in the off season. So they kind of put that together, made some odd jobs for the off season. Well, as they were limiting their catch and such, the fish came back and the coral reef came back. And now in the off season, they're totally supported by ecotourism. And so these people work as tourist guides and, you know, in hotels and stuff like that. And a lot of these places along the coast have become very prosperous because they let their coral reef grow back. And now tourists want to come and dive and snorkel and stuff like that. So they have put a lot of rules on themselves that didn't come from the government. Smart folks. So now they said after one of these places was completely decimated, but now after 14 years, the biomass of the fish inside the reserve had increased by 463%. They said no one has ever seen such a recovery of fish in any marine preserve. So, and that's all done by the people. Isn't that cool? That looks like a whale shark. This is ahinahina. It's a plant. It's in Hawaii. It's at the peak of Mauna Kea, which is the highest volcano in Hawaii. Scientists have been trying to save these. They're also called silver swords. Now, see, I was thinking we had silver swords, but I think they're just in Hawaii now. So unfortunately, 200 years ago, us colonizers introduced goats and sheep to Hawaii, and they ate almost all of them. So there was only a few left by the 90s, way up high in the hills. And so botanists went to the top of the volcano and kind of, you know how they did the rope thing and roped down to them and carefully gathered pollen from the flowers. And then they took them back to a took them back to a laboratory and grew them in greenhouses, then replanted them on the mountain. So now there are many, they say there are many more silver swords in the wild, but they still sound like they're pretty few and far between. But you bad goats. Couldn't resist that. Bad goats. Sorry. Here's the one I'm working on. This is my whip. And the sea turtles. So this is in Phuket Island. I think isn't that Vietnam? It's a big tourist party place. Unfortunately, their nighttime partying every night has really disrupted the sea turtles. And they have not been able to lay their eggs, and they're having a hard time reproducing, and so they're dying out. Well, COVID hit. And people weren't traveling anymore. And because people weren't traveling, these big leatherback sea turtles came back. And they watched 11 huge female leatherback sea turtles lay their eggs. And they say 351 hatchlings made it back to the sea. So that's awesome. It was a short-term help, but now having seen this, there's conservation measures in place to try to keep the partying down so that the turtles can survive. I wanted to just use stuff that's laying around here and stuff that I haven't used much. So I have these. Oh, I have so much. I have these Goldfaber Aquas. I think someone gave these to me. I need to look at my swatch book because that's where I write down. I also buy little sets like this off Mercari just to try pens. I was looking for that. Just to try things, and I love Goldfabers, which are Faber-Castell. So I'm trying so I have these aquas. Now I don't know if I bought this small set. I think I did. This is a floral set, or if it was given to me. But I will look in my swatch and find out, my swatch book and find out. I have quite a few small little examples of watercolor pencils because I'm sort of fascinated by them. Of course, of all of them, Inktense and Albrecht Dürer are the best, right? Although those are two totally different things. They're the best to use. But it is fun to use other ones sometimes. And I had this bright tropical set, beautiful tropical set, just in my color supply cabinet over there. So I just got them out. Like, that would be fun to work with something different. So I put down one layer and so far, and this looks not too well blended on purpose. I've got a plan. I didn't want you to think that was the pencils. And then nothing's going through, which is great. I think I'm going to make these mountains. I don't know what the sky is bursting through here, but I want to make it more like, oh, what happened? A night sky, and that's the moon. So I want to make these like mountains. And then I think I'll just make these like dark clouds or something. So the galaxy and everything's peeking through. I don't know. That's what we're going to go for. So these will be silhouetted. This will be at night. And I'm going to make a moon shine there. And it should be done pretty quickly. I'm going to use some my Panda Fly white gel pen to go around lines and stuff and make foam. It'll be real pretty when you guys see it, I think. I'm going to make it really bright and pretty. And then I want to do these little turtles over here. And these little, oh, look at the baby. Look at that baby turtle. The paper is just so good. I mean, you could use anything on this. And I think watercolors and gouache are a great idea because there's just a lot of lines, fiddly little lines that are just lines where you could just put different colors, gradation of colors, and take out those lines. You don't really need them. So watercolor worked pretty well. So this is what I'm starting on. It's going to be, I just started tonight. Watching the tigers return. We all know it's illegal to shoot tigers, but many poachers are willing to risk going to prison because if they don't get caught, they can make a lot of money selling tigers' bodies. Isn't that awful? So this is in India. There's been 50 tiger reserves set up, including this one. This is in Ranthambore. This is in northwest India. And this is where they're safe. So they say the tigers still need protecting and they need to have more of these sorts of, I keep bumping my light. They need more of these sorts of reserves, but they are coming back. Look at all the tigers. I like them. This would be a really fun one to do. Do it like, of course, the tigers are various variations of orange and black, but you could do the gold in here and then the green foliage. Really nice. Awesome. Finding a lost chameleon. Chameleons are hard to spot, especially in Madagascar. Dang it, Candice, stop that. To find them, they say biologists must work through the rainy season when the roads flood and many places are cut off. So in 2018, chameleon hunters were out there in the downpour searching for chameleons, and they found Voltskow's chameleon. Voltskow is the person's name, I'm sure, which had not been seen since 1913. That's incredible, isn't it? They found the chameleons in an overgrown hotel garden. That's funny. They're out in the woods and like, here's a hotel garden. Oh, there they are. The rediscovery of these particular chameleons gives us hope about the possibility of finding other formerly thought of extinct species. Oh my gosh, that's how big they are. What? The size of your fingernail? Maybe that's a baby. I'm going to have to look these up. I'm going to learn so much from this book because I also have to know what color to color them. It's great. This is such a great book. I don't know how she knew I wanted it. I love this book. Replanting seagrass. Okay, seagrass is a huge controversial thing in California for sure. Seagrass has finally been recognized to be as important as it is for the benefit of the entire ecosystem. And these meadows are what feeds all kinds of things. These in California and off of Oregon, the seagrass grows a sort of a red plankton thing that whales eat. And so you wouldn't think about it, but without the grass, you're not going to have whales. So everything's connected, right? We all know that. Now this is in Virginia on the U.S. coast. So this will be this kind of the south coast, east coast, southeast. They had a deadly slime mold started killing all the grasses. And then there was a hurricane and the ecosystem completely collapsed. And they said there were no seagrasses at all. And then some scuba diving scientists spotted a few patches. So then they decided, hey, we could replant these meadows that we lost. So they collected seeds from other healthy seagrass, took them over in the bays of Virginia and scattered them across. They sprouted, and pretty soon the ecosystem came back. And then because the grass came back, it says they had anchovies, pinfish, silversides, blue crabs, all those things, which had been lost, weren't seen in that part of Virginia. And they had redhead ducks and all kinds of birds. So now their lagoons are thriving again. It's the saltwater lagoons of Virginia on the U.S. coast. So, wow. Big story. Big successful story. So glad they were able to replant. Just like a garden, I guess. You take seeds from one area and plant it in the other area. I'm going to have so much fun coloring this one because I love shallow water things like lagoons and stuff because there's so much to color. So much. Protecting burrowing parrots. I think this one, this is in the Andean mountains of central Chile. These parrots are very colorful and very intelligent. So they're popular as pets. So you know what happened. Parrot traffickers would use hooks to reach into the burrows and steal the babies. Isn't that awful? But there is the Rio de los Cipreses National Reserve put protection from traffickers in place. And they also removed a cattle ranch to create more space for native plants to grow, which the parrots need to eat. That's unbelievable because usually environment doesn't win against big cattle, right? So these burrowing parrots now more chicks are being born and survive to adulthood. Don't take animals from the wild and make them pets. No. If you guys have fish or anything like that, make sure that they're not wild caught, that they're somehow raised. Bringing back the quolls. Okay, Amy, do you know what a quoll is? Because this is Australian. And all our Australian friends, the quolls, this is the Boundary National Park. And it said that the quolls they went extinct on Australia. But they had them in captivity. They carefully bred them, and then they started releasing, and now they're again breeding in the wild. I guess they eat spiders and cockroaches, clean up carrion, even hunting for non-native rabbits. Right on. You guys are Australians' defense system. Too many of Australian species have been lost forever because nobody acted in time. But these guys were saved. So quolls are back to Australia. Wow. Love it. The Atlantic bluefin tuna. Now, I did not know that the bluefin tuna was, of course, this is Atlantic. It's the other side of the country, but I didn't know that they were endangered. These guys can grow to the size of cars. Think of that. That's a big tuna fish. It's highly prized for sushi, so bluefin tuna fisheries were not controlled, and it's popular in Japan, so huge, enormous numbers were caught and sold to Japan. So luckily, some conservation efforts have been put in place. They're limiting the catch, and now the Atlantic bluefin populations are regrowing. As big as a car, huh? Oh my God, they show the fish and then they show a plate of sushi. That's not nice. Freaking good wives and warriors are so strange. Look, there's like a plate of sushi and a sushi roll here. And there's the sushi in its live form. Elephant seals, we have a ton. This must be in California. Yeah, we have a lot of elephant seals here too in Oregon. But hunters started killing them in the 1800s, using their blubber for oil, same thing as whales. And then in 1884, they were declared extinct. Wow. But somewhere out in the Pacific Ocean where nobody could find them, a few hundred seals were still hanging out. Scientists never found them, and hunters gave up looking. Yes! And then slowly the population recovered and seals started returning. Now elephant seals are strictly protected. Way to go, second chance. And there's at least 150,000. Yeah, I was going to say, we have a ton of these guys. I didn't know they were endangered. But but there's still worries because they are at risk of disease and pollution, but they're not at a high risk of extinction anymore. All they needed was for people to leave them be. Can you believe that? Hunted them to extinction, but a few hid out. A few smart ones. Elephant seals are cool. You see them out on rocks in the surf. Namibian hake fishery was the world's deadliest fishery. Yikes. Because seabirds would get tangled in nets and snagged on hooks and blah, blah, blah. And they used these long lines and they would just catch all these birds. So it seemed like a big deal to stop the seabirds trying to eat the bait, and that's where they would get wrapped up. But then they said, hey, what if we just rig up some brightly colored streamers, some along the nets? And that scares most of them away, it says. I wish it worked for the turkeys around here because they are not scared. Adding weights also helps the line sink quickly and out of reach from the flapping birds. So this was, this ingenious solution was brought about by the BirdLife International's Albatross Task Force. So now Namibia is using these lines, and it's worked. The bird rate has dropped by more than 98%. That's amazing. Oh yeah, if they were catching albatross, that's terrible. They were catching all kinds of birds. Yay, Namibia. So these would be brightly colored. You could make this a really colorful page. Kiwi. Here we go back to Australia. This is Aotearoa. Okay, Amy, help me say it. This is where Amy lives. Amy Ward Art. Aotearoa, New Zealand. She says it very quickly. I've never been able to pronounce it right. Aotearoa is the other name for New Zealand. So this is where she lives. There used to be 12 million Kiwis, but now there's only 80,000. Yikes. Unfortunately, they weren't overhunted, but when settlers arrived on the island, they brought dogs, cats, rats, and stoats. Why you would introduce, they probably just came off the boat. And that severely injured the Kiwi population because they killed them. So now in Northland Aotearoa, is that the, Amy, you have to tell us in your next video. Is that the native name for New Zealand, and that's what people are using now? Because this book puts New Zealand in parentheses and then continues on in the story to call New Zealand Aotearoa. And I know I'm not saying that right. So local community groups are working to help the Kiwi, and what they're doing is they're trapping pest animals like rats and things and encouraging people to keep their dogs under control so that dogs aren't killing them. And it's paying off. It said nearby in Whangarei Heads, there used to be just 80 Kiwi in that area, and now there are at least 1,000. Oh, look, a little sign says no dogs, Kiwis. I've never seen a Kiwi in real life. Giant clams. I wonder how giant. Does it say how giant clams are? It's giant clams have become rare because people eat them. Yep. And use their shells as decorations. 40 years ago, they disappeared in the Philippines. They were gone. And then people from the Solomon Islands and Palau collected baby giant clams, sent them in the mail to marine biologists. That would be a strange happy mail to receive. And then they kept them in aquarium tanks until they grew to the size of a human hand. Then they put them in a nursery area out in the ocean, a place on the seabed where they grew up safely inside wire cages. And then when the clams were the size of rugby balls, it's an interesting comparison, big enough to survive on their own, they planted them out on coral reefs. Boy, that seems really labor intensive. Oh, hey, here's a picture of how big those clams are. Look at that. That's a big clam. Dude, I've never seen a shell that big. It says that we like the shells for decorations. I've never seen a shell of a clam. Oh, see, here's a shell decorated with succulents and stuff. Wow, they are big. Here's a little scuba diver. So this would be one giant clam and then this whole ecosystem around it. That's cool. It sounds extremely labor intensive. My goodness. You collect the babies, send them through the mail to marine biologists who keep them in tanks. And when they're the size of a hand, they put them out in the seabed in a cage until they're the size of rugby balls. Then they go plant them on a coral reef. Boy, that's a lot of work. Saving slow-moving snails. Wait a minute. Is there a fast-moving snail? Like, aren't they all slow-moving snails? Polynesian tree snails were heading towards extinction because people brought in giant African land snails that began munching the local plant life. Why? Did they bring them on purpose? I need to know these things. How did these African land snails get to Polynesia? Then to try and protect the plants, people released rosy wolf snails, but instead the rosy wolf snails stopped eating the plants and started eating the Polynesian tree snails. Wow, you bring in a predator. So African land snails were eating the plants, and then people wanted to protect the plants, so they brought in rosy wolf snails, but they turned around and went, hey, that snail looks good. And they stopped eating the plants, and they started eating the Polynesian snails. Wow. Way to go, us. Science. So to protect them, they had to collect as many of this Polynesian snails they could find and send them to zoos because cannibalism is a thing. So now captive breeding has been a great success. They are now working together with other zookeepers and sharing their knowledge on how to keep them in plastic containers. Really? I guess they can thrive in a plastic container. I don't see as how that's a big deal. I mean, look at this picture. They're all escaping. That's a fun picture. All the snails are escaping. They're not staying in their plastic container. But it says they hope that this snail and other tree snails will return. I think you got to get rid of those rosy wolf snails. Send them back to where they came from. Making vultures safe. Okay, vultures are one of my favorite birds. I know they're creepy, but they have a great job. They eat dead things. If they weren't around, dead things would just lay around and rot. We have a lot of vultures. And if you've ever seen one up close, yeah, they're scary looking, but they're also really cool and very big. They're very big. So when cows die, it's traditional in Asia to leave their bodies out for vultures to deal with. But across India, Nepal, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, vultures were dropping dead. This is because the farmers were giving sick cows a medicine to treat pain and inflammation, and that was deadly to vultures. So scientists spotted the problem, and now that medicine is banned. Wow. An alternative non-toxic treatment for cows was identified, and slowly the vulture crisis is being turned around. And now there are several vulture safe zones that have been set up, and vultures are given cattle to eat that are drug-free and that are allowed to die naturally of old age. Oh, that cattle industry is not doing well. They're just boosting those cows up to take advantage of them as long as they can. If this deadly medicine was treating pain and inflammation, yeah, there's probably a lot of inhumanity going on towards the cows too. But let's let all animals die naturally of old age. Let's do that. Their wingspan is huge. It is really big. They are gigantic birds. And they're really cool. I'm glad that they recognized that was what the problem was. It might have took a while to identify that. Scimitar horned oryx. Oh, this is that thing we see all over in coloring books and nobody knows what it is. It's an oryx. I think Kirby has a page dedicated to these. These went extinct in the wild for decades. but herds of them were rescued and sent to zoos and ranches around the world. Then in 26 and 2017, they were released in Central Africa in Chad. And the species, that's where the species are from. And they were placed in a large nature reserve that had a suitable habitat, and they settled in quickly. They were all given electronic collars, because this is all there be. There be no more oryxes, to track them and see how they're getting along. Not long after the herds were introduced, some of the females gave birth, and they were the first scimitar-horned oryx calves born in the wild in 30 years. So these have been extinct in at least 30 years. Wow. But science stepped in and grabbed the last remaining ones. Oh, they eat like that. That's so cute. And look at that little baby. Boy, we're going to have to look these up to figure out what color all these things are. I hope you're enjoying this and not too bored. And so now it's just going into habitat. So here are forests. It explains why they're so importante. And it's a beautiful page. I mean, you can have a lot of fun with this. And then I just take a light color of ink, distress ink maybe, and just go over this just so it's kind of part of, like I might do a light green and go over this so it's part of the page, but I don't do anything fancy to this part. Maybe the same color you use as the background. Oceans, here's all the oceans. Lots and lots. Hammerheads. Right underneath that diver. Yikes. There's a whale. Fun things. Jellyfish. Some other type of reef sharks and stuff. There's an octopus. There's a moray eel. Then polar regions. We didn't talk about that in this book, but it tells you why they're so important, and it gives you all kinds of animals that are in polar regions. We have orcas in a bay off of Oregon. You know, I thought narwhals were a made-up animal for much of my life. I'm embarrassed to tell you, I was an adult when I found out that they aren't fantasy animals. They're actually real. Wetlands. Oh, look, a manatee. Sea cow. What is he eating? Some panther got something in his mouth. Or those might just be two animals a little too close together. Fish. Those big lily pads that you can sit on. Those are cool. And there's the river dolphin. Those are pink, aren't they? So we can color them pink. And there's arawandas and all kinds of really cool marshy, lagoony type fish. More really cool plant life. There's an eel up there. There's a scared looking seal. And then bricks. I don't know why there's bricks. Deserts, grasslands, and savannas. Boy, there's a lot of animals here. Look at that cheeky toad. He's up to no good. There's a fennec fox, everyone. Some cacti. Then we go down to like grasslands. Like that's giraffes and gazelles and things. Fish, scorpion, like a zoodles. So the thing kind of goes upside down and it's a whole thing that goes around. Look at that hummingbird. Isn't that pretty? Do you think you'd like to color this book? And the wild will go on. So it's basically a book. And here's ways that you can make a difference to help the world. And the dedication page with the planet and all the animals around it. So what do you think? This book is so nice. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Because it's positive. And especially those of us with anxiety disorders, it gets hard to yes, it's really happening and we need to be aware of what's going on with the world and what we're doing to the world. But it's also terrifying, and especially when there's not much you can do from your living room. But there are some little things back here that you can do. And it's nice to see where places are that we've been successful. So this is a successful, fun book, an uplifting book. And if you like Good Wives and Warriors and you like to collect their stuff because you like them, this is a book you might not have known they illustrate. I really like it. It's abstract and kind of busy and kind of surreal, but they're real at the same time. It perfectly suited to their style. When was this printed? When? And I'll get you the ISBN too. Because I don't think this is new, is it? I think my leg is bumping into the light. 2024. So yeah, pretty new. Here is the ISBN. Lawrence King. I can't tell you where she got it. I think you can get it off Amazon. I think I saw it there. But yeah, I would check Amazon because I think it is there. And it's great. It's so nice to have a book that you can get off Amazon that's not an arm and a leg. That's great paper. Super great paper. Thank you, Hatchet. And so there's that. All right. Let me look around and see if there's anything else I want to show you this evening before you leave me and go to your beds. All right. One moment. Okay, so I did find something more that I wanted to show you, and I have a shirt on now because it was getting a little chilly. Another Happy Meal gift. I have so many wonderful friends, and you guys, you send me stuff, and I tell you, it makes me so happy. I get so excited. I get so excited when there is something in my post office box and I race home and it's right there. And sometimes I open them right away. Sometimes I save them for a special occasion. Like I know I'm going to be doing a lot of work coming up soon. So I save them for my first day off as sort of something to look forward to, but I film them. And that's what this is. This is from my friend Sue, and this is her Insta name. And Sue sent me this wonderful package. Look at it. Snoopy. And look at that little duck. Oh my gosh, so many cute stickers on this package. This package was such a delight to get. I was like, and then when I opened it, oh my goodness. Okay, so I got to show you the things. And I haven't gone through everything, but I wanted to show you kind of in order that I pulled it out. So first is this. Sue drew this. Can you believe it? She drew that. That looks straight out of Morgan O'Brien, and then colored it for me because she knows I love Matchstick Mouse. Isn't that sweet? And I love her multicolored leaves so much, and her purple mushroom it's got a glittery pin on there. Oh, I just love it. Sue, this is wonderful. You're so talented. And she's so cute. She's laughing and dancing. Oh, I love it. It has a very nice personal write-up on the back. Thank you so much, Sue. I love you so much. And I'm going to set it right here and look at it always. So it's right over there. Okay. And then she went through some stuff of hers that she thought I might like. So all of these wonderful goodies have been touched by Sue's hands and loved by Sue. And she was ready to pass them on to someone else to love. And she chose me for these wonderful gifts. So first I pulled out was this. This is the cutest. This reminds me, remember when we had those, what are they called? Those planner. They were really big. They had a name. They zipped up. Everybody had to have them. I went to high school in the 80s, and so everybody had to have them. Oh, I can almost hear it in my voice. But it had these pencil pockets that you could put on. It was a big thing. They had 3 big rings that snapped open, and they always snapped shut on me. I was constantly pinching myself. And you had these to go in there. Anything could fit in there. The thing was huge. It was just this big notebook planner thing. And you could just put papers in there and whatever you wanted and then zip it closed. I don't see those really that much anymore. But it was always, you always had to get the coolest one with the coolest picture on the front of whatever was in fashion. And we didn't have enough money to do that, so mine was always lame. And she stuck in some things for me. So let's see what she snuck in here. What are these pins? Oh, I don't know. They're a glitter pen for sure. Let's get out my handy dandy I keep this by me all the time, especially because I work in acrylics and gels, and those have to be re-wet. Oh, that is so pretty. Look at that. Yes. Oh, what colors do we have? I always love this color in gel pens and sparkle pens. Yes, it's kind of like a burnt orange type. Oh, that's pretty. Ooh, I love these. There's no name on them or anything, but they sure are sparkly and juicy. There's a yellow. Oh, wow. No, bright orange. Oh, that's nice. That's really nice. And a purple and a red and a yellow. Wait, let's see. We have to see what this orange is. Is this another orange? No. Oh, it's a beautiful red. Look at that. That's a beautiful red. These are nice. Red, purple, yellow, and silver or gray? Silver. Oh, that's nice. That's a nice silver. Wow, those are really glittery. Oh, fun. I'll keep these right here. Yep. Because I'm always needing just a little bit of glitter and I have to go into somewhere and get them. I'll just put them right there in one of my pen jars. Ooh, here's two more. Is this black? Yeah, I love a good, it's so pretty, a good glittery black. And then turquoise is one of my favorite colors. Ooh. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at those two colors. Yeah, those are beautiful. All right, so that's going up here. Yay. And then these are all Prismacolor Verithins. Do they even make these anymore? I've never tried them, and so she sent me some to try. Prismas are so smooth, aren't they? I love it that you have these so beautifully sharpened. I don't have a sharpener that does that. Maybe I'm going to have to get me one of those sharpeners you guys all talk about, like the AFMATs. All I have is those little handheld little ones. And honestly, that might be the reason I don't do pencils a lot, because it hurts me to do that. These are pretty. What's the difference between the Prismacolors and the Verithins? Everybody, let me know. They say Mexico right on them. They seem a little bit harder than the Prismacolors, I think. These are cool. Here's a turquoise color. Actually, these colors would work on a page I'm doing right now where I needed some pencils to go over some basing that I had done. That's cool. Oh, these are neat. I like these a lot. Okay, yay. I'm going to play with these with that page I've got going on. Perfect. And this, I can always use these because I always have like, well, I'll probably put this in with my Prismas, but I have other little bits and pieces of things that I've bought off Mercari or people have given me, like those Goldfaber Aquas I used in the page I was working with here. This page here, those were a gift. I looked them up. They're from Tara, from Three Dog Coloring. These here, the Goldfaber Aquas. Faber-Castell also has aquarels. So they have the Albrecht Dürers. They have a lot of watercolor pencils. Yeah, I started putting in the silhouettes of the trees, and now after having done that, I think I'm just going to make it light all the way up through here, like a moon coming through, but I need to make the sand a lot darker. But it's just based right now. Such a fun book. Thank you, Anonymous. So this is disaster behind me. This is adorable and will be put to good use, so I will put one of my smaller little partial sets in here. And then she gave me, then I pulled this out. And this is another sweet little pencil case. And in it is full. Look in there. First off, saw those glaze pens, Jelly Roll glazes. Oh my gosh, I don't know why she's giving these up. Girl. But these are the glaze, the ones that are puffy and kind of 3D. And these are colors I don't have this purple or this orange. These are like some sort of pastel set here. This pink. I don't have these colors. I might have that color. That's a red. Oh, how fun. Yay! I don't have that yellow. Oh, these are all going to be fun. I will definitely swatch those. Oh my gosh. I love glaze pens so much. And then I think she didn't care for these, which is why I got them, but I love them. These are, I love the way they feel. These are the Kohinoor the Progresso, the woodless. They are, I don't know, encased in some sort of plastic ceramic-y stuff, and they're solid pigment. I love them. I think they're smushy like Prismas are. Let me bring you in a bit. Boink. And they're fun to hold. Yeah, I have a bunch of broken ones, and they shatter when you drop them. They definitely do. But these, I only have small cases of them because that's all I've been able to find. I get them used off of Mercari or something. That's a beautiful color. But I just think they just color, they blend really well. Oh, look how rich that is. Oof. Yeah, I love all these browns. I think that's a gorgeous terracotta. I love these pencils, and I have a bunch. They don't have a lot of colors. In fact, this might be all the colors they have. But I definitely use them. And so, pew, Jack. Oh, he's really relaxed. Oh, you farted so bad. Ugh. It's Easter weekend, and he had some ham, and I think it was too rich for him. Aren't these beautiful? They're so rich, so easy to blend out, and oh, I just love them. The black is really nice. I don't remember the sizes of the sets. I think they have a 12 and a 24. I think that's it. I know I don't have any bigger sets. I can only find the smaller sets. They're a little bit hard to find. Sometimes you find them new for sale. Oh, look at that bright yellow. I'm always wanting a bright, true yellow. That's the other thing. They have some of these muted off colors, but they have a lot of true colors. Like their yellow is very yellow, and their red is red. So I love it. They have several blues. That's kind of a navy, isn't it? That's neat. Anyway, I absolutely love these. What's the pink? Oh, he's such a pretty pink. I just love the colors. I love that they're saturated and they're dark and they're just neat pencils. And so I can't remember if she told me these were coming or not. It doesn't matter because I would have forgotten by now. And it's always a surprise. So this is thrilling to me. And I might put some padding in here, like some bubble wrap and stuff, and just set them gently in there. It's hard to find a good way to store these without them breaking. You can put them in a case, of course, which might be what I have to do. They just snap. But they are gorgeous pencils, and I'm super excited. And I will definitely put these in with my other glaze pens. In fact, I'll sit them in here for now. Okay, put these over here where they're safe. Then the last thing that was in this fantastic package from Sue was this. It's a step-by-step guide to doing textures with pencils. So making bark, doing stones. Remember I did that one stone page everybody liked? Moss. All these, flames. Oh my gosh. See, now I can do this with alcohol markers mostly. I can't with water-based markers, but I've never tried it with pencils. So this person prefers Prismacolor. I have Prismacolor, so I could do that. But you make rust, you make reflections. I mean, oh, I'm so excited. Curly hair, wavy hair. Look at that. Oh my gosh, it shows you where to put the highlights. What else do we have? Short cat hair? Oh, that's what I need. Look, a cat eye. Oh yeah, animals and insects. Long cat hair. Wow, I love it. A canine eye. Oh, do they have puppy dogs? Yep, there's short canine fur and long curly canine fur. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Smooth canine. What other animals do they have in here? Kitty cats, horses, horse coat. Oh, that's lovely. And it just shows you how to do it. The butt. Oh, that's the mane. Looks like the tail to me. Elephant skin. Whoa. Whoa. Look what that looks like. Just 4 main steps. Snake skin. Oh, this is cool, Sue. Leopard fur. Oh, I really need... stop it. Fish scales. Oh my God, I do so many fish. I am very, very excited. Silk fabrics. They have fabrics in here. And sequins and things. Look at that. You could do sequins. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. I love books like this. Stained glass. Oh my God. This is where you have glass. Look at that. Oh my God. My glass needs some help. So do my balloons. Pretty much everything. Pewter, copper. Oh, how fun. Clay powdery. Wet pavement. And rusted steel. These kinds of special effects I just love. There's so many opportunities to use this. I mean, everything from a cute and cozy, bathroom scene, or an R.J. Hampson, Mr. Froggerty, to all the way up to, a Japanese book. There's a lot of this that you can use in the Erie or the Neku Nekus or the everything. The Saguni Fox ones, all of them. Peeling paint, marble. Oh my gosh, that looks real. Doesn't that look like real marble? Oh, I'm going to have so much fun. I'm going to try these in some of my cute and cozy books. Amethyst. And then here's some different wood, iron, food and beverage. So there's one. God, that looks like a picture. Red wine. And there we go. The citrus fruit, which we love. Oh, the rind. The citrus rind. Neat. Pineapples. I just did a pineapple page, and you're going to see it, my finished pages for March. And they did not look that good. Apples. So much fun. What's this section over here? Nature. This is where you get the bark. Oh, pine needles. Look how real that looks. Oh my gosh. That doesn't look like any pine cone I have over here, though. My pine cones are outies. That looks like it's an innie. Palm fronds. Ooh, a thatched roof. Wouldn't it be fun to make a roof like that? Just out of the blue. And it even tells you the colors to use in Prisma. But if you don't have Prisma colors, or they don't work on the paper you're using, you can use one of My Colorful Country Live. You can use one of her conversion charts. She's got lots of them. Moss, ferns, grass, flowers, rock, all the stuff. Seashells. Oh, look at these reflections. A still lake, and here is a rippled lake. God, that looks exact. These look like they're pictures, but they're not. Bubbles. I'm doing bubbles in that turtle page right now. Fire. Oh, my fire is so bad. I'm so bad at fire. And look at this. This looks real. That's like a campground fire. Ocean. Otherwise known as like a bonfire or something. Raindrops on water. Raindrops on a window. Oh my God. Oh, and these are some of the things she's done. Look at that tree. Denise Howard. Wow. Wow. So Denise Howard, 101 textures and colored pencil. I am so excited. Maybe finally my pencil game will improve a bit, get a little bit better. So, wasn't this fun? This was a fun evening to spend with you. We had prezzies to open and pages to color, and I can't even remember all that we did. We did a lot. It was a lot of fun. And I hope that it was fun for you. This is so neat, Sue. And I want to thank all of you, and especially my gift givers here, Sue and Chris and Anonymous. Thank you so much. And Tara, thank you so much for your wonderful gifts. And thank you for being here tonight. You really do keep me company, and I love having you over here at my cabin. So I'll see you the next time you come over. All right. Love you. Bye-bye.